This was a really good episode, and we now find out the truth about Carlotta's kid. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 3, Episode 17, and the name of this episode is Proud Mary Keep On. This was a really good episode, y'all, and I can't wait to talk about it, but you know, on Wednesday will be the season finale. I can't wait to see what goes down because that situation looks crazy as hell. So I know this finale is going to be off the hook. But let's talk about this episode. So, in the beginning of the episode, we see that Star is kind of having a flashback with her mother, Mary. And Star, as a little girl, would hold Simone in her arms, and she would sing to her, you know, when her mother would be spaced out on drugs. And then all of a sudden, we see that Mary kind of rises up out of her high and starts talking shit to Star, saying like, "Oh, you think you better than me?" And Star was like, "I'm nothing like you, bitch." She says, "Boo boo, you're exactly like me, and you don't deserve this baby." So we're seeing that the haunt of her mother's ghost is also wearing on her too, which is why she wants to give Davis up for adoption. Then all of a sudden it goes to present day. It's after the car explosion. We see that Angel and Simone actually survived, and Angel's talking to the police, but we see that, you know, Star is also shooken up, not due to the fact that Simone could have gotten hurt, but also because, you know, she's thinking about, you know, giving up her child. But then we see that this situation got Angel even more pissed, because we saw that he was pissed off on the last episode where he was saying that there's the one thing about being an activist, but then you're now stroking the flames, you know, you're now, you know, making us a target. And lo and behold, his damn car got just blew up. So that shit was crazy. And then, you know, pretty much the detective comes up and says that, look, we're gonna try to find out who's behind the incident. And then Angel was like, incident? This was a terrorist attack. This wasn't no damn incident. Or because it's a white man, you want to call it an incident, when yet this was a terrorist attack. This what it was. And then the detective encouraged them that they need to lay low. But then Simone is like, we got ASA events this week. And Shin, you know, Angel's like, he said lay low. You know, and he says that, he tells the detective, you need to go find him before something happens to you, looking at Simone. And I'm like, Angel is pissed off. So now his life is in danger, and he feels that Simone is igniting the flames for more hate and for more violence to come their way. But then, you know, Carlotta was there and said, like, look, we'll hire 2 bodyguards to cover them throughout the event. And we see that Carlotta is getting her hair did for this ASA event. I have to admit, though, that blue hair was looking nice on Carlotta. You know, Miss Bruce did hook her up. And pretty much they talk about, you know, her fear of gravity going under, and that she could lose everything that she built. You know, her career, what she did for the girls, everything could just be over. And then, like, you know, Miss Bruce was like, well, what's this old thing with this damn ASAs? It's like, damn, they just keep having party after party after party after party. That's why motherfuckers broke. Damn. How many fucking parties do we need for them to, to kind of weigh them onto, to kind of like weigh them onto getting us the awards. But then, you know, Carlotta talks about, like, man, it's just like, I'm really trying my hardest not to break. Yeah, and then she's like, I hope so, because I don't want to get another call from the diner that you done pissed your pants and you've been drinking. I don't want to get that shit again. But she says that, you are built like a brick house, because once you think you can't take something, you stand in it. Like, you a brick house girl, can't nobody break you. And then while after her and Miss Bruce talk, she goes in her purse and sees the birth certificate of the baby. So we definitely see that, her finding her birth child is definitely on her mind. So then we get a scene with Alex and Derek. We see that her car gets repossessed. You know, Roland is mad because she aired him out, publicly. And Alex is like, oh, that's how he want to play it? She took a damn bat and smashed the damn window and said, love you, daddy. I'm like, Alex's father is a damn trip. So I wonder if he's going to actually show up at the finale. Because they really going at it. So then we get a scene at the red carpet at this ASA event. We see that Mateo approaches Angel and Simone that they want to do an article about social justice and they want to interview the both of them. And then we can just see that, Angel's not really feeling her role as a social activist and, he's really uncomfortable with it. But then Simone is like, look, we need to get in front of this, so we can draw the narrative our way. It's going to be good. So then we see that, all three of the girls are back together and they're going to be working on a new album. So we see all girls together and we see that Carlotta and Maurice, talks with them. And then we see Amber, who's also being nominated for Best Pop Album. She comes there with Jackson. And immediately Star is like taken aback by this, like, oh really, Jackson, this is what you're gonna do? And of course, Star's voice is not fully back yet, but then she kind of tells, so her and Jackson kind of go back and forth, like, oh, so this is what you're doing, you up here rolling around with her, like, and then all of a sudden he's like, you jealous or something? And she's like, oh no, that's just your spray tan. I'm like, she was just doing the most. Then we see that Cassie is talking to Little Deanie and his stupid ass. Because, Little Deanie's a damn clown. He always doing something stupid. And she wants him to get in the studio to do a song with Rashad. Because she's saying that, look, I'm trying to get you into a place where you can cross over more. And there's a whole audience that don't even fuck with you because of your lyrics and how the way you come off. So if they see you doing something with Rashad, this can get you a new fan base. And he kind of goes back and forth with us like, oh, so you just like this industry bitch, huh? Like, because he's so disrespectful. And the funny thing about it, he forever be getting his ass whooped, but he's still the same douchebag as he was before. So, and then like Carlotta's like, oh, don't you call me no bitch, fool. Don't ever call me that. He's like, ooh, that attitude, I like that. I'm like, yeah, you just like to get your ass whooped. You're just crazy like that. So we saw that go down. And then we see that so pretty much we see that Carlotta comes in and she's pretty much saying that what is you doing? This is my business, this is my career. And then Cassie's like, look, I ain't here to step on your toes. I'm just here, doing business for Rashad and all that. Like, it's all good. And she's like, you don't need to be doing this, Cassie. And she's like, whoa. What you need to be handling is not me and Rashad, but you need to be handling that business in that envelope. And until you do that, don't step to me. And walked away from Carlotta's ass. So I'm like, yeah, only if you knew that envelope is that what's in that envelope is pretty much more closer than you think. So then we see we get a scene with Star and Noah at the event. We saw earlier that Noah was calling her and she was ignoring his calls. So they get into a fight at the red carpet. And then, like, they just get into this big argument. They go back and forth. And he's saying that, here it is, you have the chance to be a mother. And you will want to do this. And you're talking about you're not like your mother. You're worse. And she slapped the living shit out of Noah. So, and, like, they literally were fighting this entire episode. It was crazy. Because Noah is dead set against of her giving up the baby for adoption. So then we see that after that, Carlotta and Star talk, and she says, you got a lot going on, Star, but you need to kind of get control of this, and she tries to plead with her to not to give up Davis. And we see that Cotton was actually babysitting Davis while they were at the event. and she just comes in and says that, look, I'll just get the rest of his things and I'll be out of here. So she's not trying to hear what Carlotta's saying, because Star has always been like that. Star, when she makes up her mind, she goes with it, and she ain't letting nobody make her change her mind, because in her mind, she thinks she's doing the right thing by giving Davis up so that he can have a normal childhood. So then afterwards, we see that Star has a meeting with her doctor, her voice doctor, and she wants to get some cortisone shots so she can get back to singing. And he was like, look, if you do this cortisone shot, it could lead to permanent damage to your voice. And then he was saying, but then she was saying that, look, I've been doing these vocal exercises, and they're not working. And he was saying that, well, let's give it a month and then we'll see, we'll go from there. And she calls herself like, you know what, fine, if you ain't gonna give it to me, I'll inject myself. Shoot, I seen my mother use needles many a times. It's a no thing for me. And all of a sudden we see that the daggone doctor got real aggressive with Star, and he was like, I'm not gonna tell you again. The answer is no. I was like, oh shit, that doctor ain't playing with her ass. So then we get a scene with Alex and Derek, and we see that Moses, who works for her father, shows up, and pretty much she tells him that, look, I don't know this deal. I know that my father keep coming for me and shit, but she's like, I lived in an emotional graveyard, but yet I made something myself, and I be damned, I'm gonna let him try to benefit off of my success when he never believed in me. And then Moses tells her that, look, if you speak ill of your father in public, he will sue you. And then Derek was like, wow, what kind of father sues his own daughter? And Alice was like, mine. So then we see that Alex and Simona in the studio, they're working on this track, and she's trying to write lyrics to it. And then all of a sudden we see that Simone and Alice have a conversation, and she's saying that I just cannot believe that Star wants to give up Davis. And then all of a sudden Star shows up like, well, fine, you talking about me, I'm here, so what's good? And Simone offers to take Davis, but Star shuts us down like, girl, you got your career going and you forget you was just in an explosion. Like, you could have gotten killed just a mile ago. Like, nah, that ain't happened. So Star shuts that down. But then Alex tells Simone that, look, Star has a choice, when it comes down to this child. And, she's making her choice and I made mine. And of course she's talking about, her having the abortion, that, because you remember that her and Derek had a child, but she had aborted the pregnancy. And then Simone was like, you always said that you was about family. How is this about family? You giving up your kid? And she said, this is the first time I'm putting Davis first. It's not about me, it's about him. So then and then all of a sudden she was like, girl, you care more about the damn ASAs than you do your son right now. So they kind of go back and forth, and all of a sudden Miss Bruce shows up, and she says that, look, that song that you guys are working on, it belongs to Jackson. So if you get approval from Jackson, we're good. So then we get a scene with Carlotta and Duke. Remember, Duke is Rashad's father. So he comes in and he's mad, like, so what is this crap that Rashad saying he's staying in the A and that he wants to chase his dreams and that he working with Cassie? And she was saying, and Carlotta was like, I agree, but you need to talk to Cassie about that because they ain't got nothing to do with me. And he's like, I know he a grown man, but he got a good job making good money and he want to go dream chasing. It's just pure foolishness. I'm like, yeah, but Carlotta had a dream and look where she is. So sometimes chasing your dreams will actually give you the results you want, but you got to believe in yourself. But a person who's worked a 9-to-5 and has a comfortable job, they're afraid to chase dreams because chasing a dream is uncertain and you don't know where you're going to end up. But then he was saying that, I know he not mine and all, but I promise that I will always. And then all of a sudden, Carlotta was like, whoa, 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 come back. What was that? And he was like, man, I promised I was supposed to take this to my grave, but Rashad is your father's child. He gave him to me and my wife one summer because he had supposedly knocked up some woman, and he was afraid that your mother was going to find out about it, so he gave us the kid, and we've been raising this kid as our own the whole time. And then all of a sudden you just see that Carlotta got this look like, oh my God, so you mean to tell me my little cousin is my son, and he has no idea that I'm his mother, and that Calvin, the uncle that he praised, is his was his biological father, and that he was a product of rape and incest. So we see that she, after Duke leaves, but he asks her that please look after him. You're his family, so please look out for him. I'm like, shit, they way more than family. So then we see that after she hears this, she tries to take a drink, but she can't even keep it up. She ends up getting sick to her stomach and throwing up. So it's obvious that Rashad is her son. And I just said that Calvin is an evil bastard. You literally rape this girl. She gives birth to the baby. You tell her that the baby died the whole time the baby was alive, and you give it to your cousin to raise as his own. So all this time her son was in her life, and she had no idea that her little cousin was actually her kid. I'm saying the evil people do. And then we kind of see why Carlotta is the way she is. So then we see that Noah is shooting a music video with Star, and they're fighting on the set, going back and forth and everything, because right now Noah is public enemy number one as far as she's concerned. But then Maurice gets in the middle of it and tells him that, look, this could be the last music video that you guys shoot in a minute, because both of you need this for your career, so y'all need to be professional and stop doing all this personal shit. And then all of a sudden we see that the nurse that works with her doctor had came to the set and pretty much says that, look, he's very conservative of his views, but we do have other alternatives, to help you get your voice back. And I was just like, oh, so you mean the cortisone shots? We'll talk. So then we see at the studio, Little Deanie and Rashad are bonding. Little Deanie's a goofball like crazy, talking all this shit or whatever. And, Rashad was like, look, the second beat's okay, but I like the first one better. And then we see that Cassie shows up, and she says that, hey, you guys are bonding, that's good. So once y'all get in the studio, let me see what you guys are working with. And then all of a sudden, Carlotta comes to Cassie. She says, get Rashad out of here. And she's like, what are you doing? Like, it's all good. We just in there working. Like, why are you tripping? She was like, don't test me on this, Cassie. Get him out of here. And we see that Rashad sees this go down. And Rashad feels some kind of way because he's like, why is she keep trying to sabotage me being in the industry? Like, this is my dream, and she keeps getting in the way of it. But Cassie kind of looked at Carlotta like something is up. Something ain't right. And then all of a sudden we see back at the house with Angel and Simone. Angel has become very paranoid since the explosion, as anybody would who will go through something like that. And pretty much he's like, look, you can't do these interviews, Simone. And then she's saying that, look, here it is. Star's talking about giving up Davis, and you talking about this whole thing with the whole terrorist incident. She's like, I just can't deal with this right now. He's like, you? Really? Like, first of all, when did you get on a boat and had to fight to be in this country? You out here telling a story that isn't your story. So what is it? Is it for the fame? Or are you just feeling yourself because your career is better than Star's right now? And she's like, first of all, don't be mad at me, because I'm doing this for you and I'm doing this for us. And don't be mad at me that my career is taking off and yours isn't. And I was like, ooh, just hit the nail on the head. So, but that's not the reason why he's upset. You know, he's upset because, girl, your mouth is damn near causing a war out here in these streets. I mean, hell, they just walk outside and your damn car explodes. He'll be on edge. Anybody will be on edge. But Simone is dead set on speaking her mind and speaking her truth, and that she ain't never scared. So then we get a scene with Carlotta and Cassie. Cassie comes to the house with Carlotta, and Carlotta begins to say that there's a grown man out there who doesn't know who his mother is, and that his adoptive parents' hearts will crack if they knew the truth. And then all of a sudden Cassie's like, what are you talking about, Carlotta? And she says, Rashad, look at him. Well, first she says, Rashad, look at me, then look at him, and then look at Daddy. He's my child. And then the worst thing about it, he worships that devil that gave him life. And then Cassie's like, well, he needs to know, you know. But then she's questioning, like, what if he won't accept me? You know, so that fear is definitely one of the reasons, you know, why she's been acting, because I'm pretty sure it may have been in the back of her mind, but then getting that confirmation from Duke let it be known that, yeah, that was her son. And she probably put the dates together and everything added up. But they actually end up singing the song Only God Knows, and I have to say, Brandy and Queen Latifah sound really good together. They were singing, and I was so here for that. But yeah, so now it's been confirmed that, yeah, Rashid is Carlotta's son. You know, so that makes him Cotton's older brother, and makes him Cassie's baby brother. And it makes Rashad Carlotta is not only her son, but her half brother as well. So yeah, Calvin deserved to die, evil bastard. So then we see that Noah is in the studio with Jackson, and he's playing the same beat that Take 3 is actually doing. And he was saying that, look, you know, and they both going back and forth. He's like, and Jackson was like, I still don't like you. And Noah's like, I don't like you either, but hey, this is business. I need a producer to because they mentioned that one of the people that's going to be at this event is this billionaire named I think Randall something, you know, but we kind of find out who it is, and it's a shocker. But this big billionaire guy is somebody that they can influence, which could lead to them actually collecting some trophies at the ASAs. So he's trying to do this new track to impress this guy. But the thing about it, the same track that they're playing is the same track that Take 3 wants. And then Noah brings up Star, and like Jackson was like, I really don't want to get in the middle of that. And the next thing you know, it's like every time Star's name is mentioned, her ass shows up. So she shows up, she's like, oh wow. So I see Meek and Drake have decided to work things out. And she's like, she pretty much asks Jackson, like, there's a track that came across us, we actually like it, and I want to know if we can use it. He says, sure, you can have it. But not even knowing that's the same damn track that Noah was that he was playing with Noah. He asked her, how's your voice? And we can see that Noah is just really over Star at this point. And he's saying that, and she's like, come on now, don't act like you're my friend. You know, I really don't need one right now anyway. And then Noah's like, yeah, or a son. And then she Noah tells it that she's planning on giving up Davis for adoption. They immediately start arguing, and then all of a sudden, Jackson gets in the middle of it. And she's like, look, this ain't none of your business, Jackson. He's like, it is my business. She's like, you know what? You have literally sucked the life out of me. I gave you a career. You have a career that I gave you. You're welcome. You have an uncomplicated girlfriend. You can keep that. And don't ask me about my life when you walked out of it. well, technically he actually didn't walk out your life because he was at that hospital every single day when you were unconscious. But he was like, oh, really? That's how you feel? He's like, you know what, Star? You a cold-hearted bitch. And I hope your son doesn't end up like you. And I'm like, see, Jackson, even though he be saying some truthful shit somewhat, but dude, you are so out of line and out of pocket with how you be coming. Like, you just want somebody to fuck you up. Like, because he did that shit with Noah. You know, like, I'll be a better father than you, but at the end of the day, it's Noah's kid, so sit your ass down. And then he's like saying you a cold-hearted bitch because he does love Star and he does care about her. And the whole time when she was in the hospital, he was there every day. So for her to say that you walked out of my life, he's like, actually he didn't. He just left your house, but he's still been around. And so when that happened, I was like, damn. But then she's like, thank you for the track, and walked out. So then we see that Alice is still trying to work on the song, but she's having issues with it. And he pretty much and then we see that Derek, because it's the same track that he was trying to pitch to Noah, is the same track that Alex is working on. So Derek comes in and he was saying that she's having issues coming up with lyrics, and she's saying that Derek pretty much lets her know that, look, you're gonna let your father get the upper hand on you. She's like, take your power back. She's like, I hear you, baby, but how? And he says that your music, go in the booth and speak your mind. You'll thank me later. So it's cool because they're right now in bliss because they're about to get married soon. But he kind of lets her know that, look, take your power back and use your music to speak how you really feel. And I have to say, Derek, that was a great idea that Derek gave her. And then all of a sudden we see that little Denny and Rashad are at Karma. Obviously Rashad is drunk, and then he about to roll up some tree, and they was about to smoke. And then all of a sudden Cassie walks up and she stops them, and she says that, what's going on? Cause like first Carlotta and now you. And she's like, yeah, but Carlotta was right. You don't need to be mixing around with people like him. And he says that, man, Carlotta can kiss my. Cassie slapped the shit out of him and was like, you better show some respect because Cassie now knows the truth. And then all of a sudden, little Deanie was like, come on, man. You asked me to work with this R&B evangelist, and now you pulling out. Well, she's like, yeah, I'm pulling out now, and I'm not going to be your manager, Rashad. And all of a sudden, we see that Rashad's hurt. He was like, I thought you believed in me. She's like, I do, but it's deeper, and you got to stand down. So then we see Carlotta has another liaison with the mystery guy that she met at Karma. We see that Carlotta definitely been drinking, and he can tell that. He says, so what's going on? Like, you got something on your mind, baby? And how many of those have you had? And she's like, don't act like you here to talk. And he takes off that shirt, baby. He was like, nah, I'm here to blow your back out, but I want to get to know you better. And pretty much they start fooling around, and then we see that Rashad is actually trying to call her on her phone, but she got it on vibrate because here it is. We see her about to go down on old boy. So I'm like, I don't blame you, Carlotta, because Carlotta got a lot on her plate. So she's getting her some sexual healing. Who am I to judge, honey? I was like, bitch, do you, honey? But then again, Rashad's calling, so we're going to see how that's going to end up. So then we see that Angel and Simone do the interview. They ask questions to Angel, and then when they ask Simone, she pretty much says that, so, to the fool out here who wants to hide behind bombs, I don't run away. So come and face me, bitch. And this sets fucking Angel off. He's like, are you serious? This interview is over. And he says that shut the camera off. Shut the damn camera off. And he kind of looks at Simone's like, I'm not doing this shit with you. And walks off. So then we see that Star goes to meet with the nurse, and the nurse gives her a cortisone shot. Then we see that Take Three performs at this event because they were going to work it out where Star wouldn't have much to do, but Star was determined that I'm not going to be no background singer. Like, it doesn't give me. I don't have a part or anything. But when they got on stage, Star started singing. Everybody was surprised that she got her voice back, even Noah. And pretty much they kind of do their thing and they kill it. But then it's like the funny thing about it is that Star, you're about to become an addict just like Noah, because cortisone can become addictive, and it just eases the symptoms. And if you're not careful, it can make your condition worse. So here it is, pretty much off stage. Noah spills a tea about the nurse being on set, so that's how you got back your voice. And then all of a sudden, Carlotta's like, girl, why are you so reckless? And she says that, look, I can't do anything without my voice. I can't live without my voice. I used to use it to calm Simone when my mom would pass out. I used it to make money. I'm using it to live, and I can't do anything without it. So if it means I gotta take cortisones, and if it means I gotta do anything else to keep my voice, so be it. And then she says, so if that makes me worse than my mother, I can take that, but at least I can admit it. And walked away. And then Noah just looking all, I understand where Noah's coming from too, because it is his child and he does have say so. She shouldn't just be making this decision as if like he's not there. But then she did kind of threaten him that if you try to stop me, I'll definitely, prove in court that you're an unfit parent, that you almost killed our child. So you really don't have no say so whatsoever. But we see that Noah is trying to make leaps to get himself together, and we saw that last episode when he got his mother Diane and his father Bobby to come together, that look, we got to be better people for Davis. So he is trying to better himself so he can be a father. But right now Star is had her mind made up, and she's not being deterred from anybody, not even Carlotta and Simone. So we see backstage, Noah has a conversation with his mom, Diane. He tells her that, Star wants to give the baby away. And he was like, you know what, that bitch gets on my nerves. And then she lets me know, I don't like Star one bit, but yet I somewhat understand what she could be dealing with. And she tells him that at 3 months old, when he was a baby, she almost drowned him in the sink while she was giving him a bath. And it was due to postpartum depression. And then Noah was like, man, she ain't dealing with none of that. She only dealing with her own ambition. And she threatened me with a knife and all that. And she was like, what? I'm like, oh shit. And then next thing you know, we see that, he gets served papers. Served papers to appear in court. And she says that she's going to try to prove in court that I'm unfit to be a parent. That damn Diane was like, oh, Star thinks she crazy? She ain't seen crazy yet. And then he was like, Mom, don't do this. And she was like, look, I'm your mama, and I'm always going to look out for you. So then we see Alex and Derek after the ASA event. She pretty much goes publicly again and denounces her father. And she says that, yes, and my situation with my father, that will be on the new Take 3 album. So if you want to clap back, Dad, I'm ready. It's whatever. So she publicly again denounced her father. The question is, what is her father going to do next? Because Roland is a shady motherfucker. And he already showing that he is literally trying to take her power away from her. And then we see that Star is looking after Davis, and she's saying, I wish there was another way. But I want you to know that I love you, and I'm doing this for your best interest. She gets a knock on the door. It's damn Diane's ass. Her and Diane tussle back and forth, talking crazy mess to each other. And she's saying that, and then Diane says that, look, I ruined Noah's life. I'll own that. And now I have a chance to make it right with my grandson, and I'm not going to let you take that from me. And pretty much, Star, gives it back to him, was like, bitch, you don't know who the fuck you messing with. She slaps the shit out of Star and says, no, you don't know who you messing with. And walks the hell out. I'm like, that damn Diane is one hot mess. But then again, I understand where Diane's coming from. They just had a bonding moment that they're going to try to be better people so that Davis can have grandparents and a mother and a father to look up to. So, but Star has no idea of this. But then that damn Diane went up in there and like wrecked her ass, and they was like tugging back and forth, going at it. And I was like, damn. So that's where the episode ended, where Diane pretty much threatened Star, like, bitch, you know who you messing with. I'll fuck you up if you give up my grandson. And definitely when she also found out that she put a knife to Noah, that really made her mad. So Diane went over there and showed her royal ass. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen at the finale, y'all, which comes on Wednesday. It looks like shit is gonna go down at Derek and Alex's wedding, and I want to know what led to that shit. So I can't wait. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the season finale of Star. So until next time, everybody, take care.